How do you get cold emails or any email marketing to work for your MSP? I'm going to be covering all of that, the tips, the tricks, and the exact process to follow so you could be massively, massively successful going into cold emailing, because it is a great way to find leads and get people to reach back out to you. How you doing? My name is Harrison Barron from growth-generators.com. We help MSPs grow, whether it's sales training, marketing training, or even some business operations. Before I get into today's video, I do want to mention just two quick things throughout this. Number one, I apologize. I am pretty under the weather. Thank goodness for Sudafed. Has me feeling pretty good. So this week, you're probably only getting one video. I sincerely apologize, but I just don't feel great. As you have seen already, I haven't even posted a video until, I guess, Wednesday, and this will be the only one while I rest up. I am also taking a short vacation and fully unplugging. So I'll be off the internet for a little while. It'll be a nice little reset for me. So that's number one. Number two, because I am sick and I have not been as aggressive over the last couple of days as I'd like to, if you have thought about joining the MSP Heroes program, I would highly recommend taking advantage of it right now. And the only reason why I say that early on in the video, and I hate promoting my own stuff, although, hey, it is a business at the end of the day, you could go through here. There's a ton of stuff in here. But really, there's a couple kind of big things that I think people really need to know. One, it's a private community. Two, there are now 5-day-a-week coaching calls. So you could jump in, ask me any question that you want. That's the huge value. You have a CRM in there. You have sales training in there, marketing training. There's already some marketing training and more coming. There are so many guides, tools, tips, tricks. It truly is. I'm probably not even doing it justice, but I will leave a link down to MSP Heroes, which is our membership. Doesn't matter if you're an established MSP or you're a brand new MSP, you are going to find some massively helpful tips in there. And just being able to ask the questions and get the answers that you want, you could go grab it there. You can go find it, growth-generators.com, and then up top you'll see programs, MSP Heroes. And I highly recommend you checking that out. We've gotten some pretty amazing feedback so far. So let's dive into today's video. And the first and foremost thing is, before we even get into cold emailing, because I'm going to share my screen here, and you'll see I have a bunch of tabs already open, right? But one of the most important things that we have to go over is knowing who we are going to go after. So there's kind of two ways that we could do this, right? We have a buyer persona guide, and we can fill out all of this information. Remember, this is your dream customer. And the reason this is so important is because most MSPs make the massive mistake of, hey, anybody with a computer, I can sell my services to. And while that may potentially be true, how are you going to send a message to that person? It's going to be nearly impossible to send messages to those hyper specific people. People don't want to see a marketing campaign that barely speaks to them. They want a marketing campaign that speaks directly to them. And the moment you start to make this flip between a more generic campaign, even if you're doing volume, thousands and thousands of emails per month of cold outreach, you're never going to see the ROI. By the way, let it be stated, I don't love cold emailing. I just happen to know how to do it, and I happen to be fairly good at it, and this is what I've learned through doing it. I don't necessarily agree with bothering people, just a total side note. But truly, most MSPs are like, hey, we're an MSP, we're the best at cybersecurity, we're the best at this, just like you and all of your friends. But what are you the best at? Who are you the best at helping? And this is where we have to start to begin to move away from that generic marketing and really get hyper-focused to become massively successful. That way, you could focus your marketing and your messaging directly down to, in this case, this buyer persona, where it begins to start resonating with them. And you could download this on the resources page, growth-generators.com/resources. But going and getting a buyer persona and understanding who you're actually targeting is really important. And once we know who we want to target, the size of the business, the struggles that they're typically having, where they're hanging out online, we can then use tools like ChatGPT to then start to figure out, what are the pain points they're struggling with? What technology issues do they currently face? Where are things going awry in the business? Are they having a hard time from a legacy system, which might have even been, as crazy as it sounds, pen and paper. These are all things that you're going to start to include in your buyer persona. That's why it's there. Because now when you start to get all of that information, we dump it onto this paper. Now we can start to sift through and begin to craft messaging specifically around the pain points that these people have. I also have another thing inside of MSP Heroes, and this is pretty cool. It's a comprehensive onboarding guide. And basically, you take this to figure out your own business and how to use it. It asks hundreds and hundreds of questions from super basic things, right? And you can use this to train AI too, but what is the name of the business? What is the primary purpose? Describe the name of your business. And it goes on for multiple pages of just asking you information. And by the time you're done with that, one, you're going to have a ton of clarity on who you want to target. But two, you have a cheat sheet to prepare any ChatGPT or any AI to know exactly who you want to go after, and then you work backwards. But the most important thing about all of this is truly knowing who you're going to target. And once you're hyper-focused on who you're going to target, for example, I run a business. As much as I love to do this for free, there is a business behind this that allows me to enjoy the things that I do and go on a small vacation with my family, right? And you have to make money, but in order to make money, you have to solve a problem, right? Our business, we help MSPs with sales training and marketing training and easing that, hey, I don't know where to go to get answers, or I wish I could just ask the right person the right question, right? That's what we have our program MSP Heroes for. Just like you have your, not program, but your services of being a proactive managed service provider and making sure that the systems are secure, there's good cybersecurity, the backups are done. All of those things are really, really important. But how do we take that and tell that to a ideal customer? We have to understand who that ideal customer is first, and then we can start to say, hey, by the way, most law firms in XYZ area don't have any backup. We're prone to outages, lightning strikes, floods, whatever it might be. Truly, as crazy as that sounds, you'd be so surprised. I was just shadowing a salesperson a couple weeks ago, and the business owner was truly terrified that there was going to be a lightning storm. It was going to strike his building and he was going to lose all his data. That was his biggest fear. How do we now convey that? Well, we have to know the very specific type of business, right? And then we can start to build messaging that caters to that. And every business is going to be different, from accountants to lawyers, and get creative with it. Everyone wants to go for accountants and lawyers. Who can you truly, truly help that most other people aren't helping? Then, after we have a very specific ideal customer, and then also we can start to figure out the messaging behind it, we now need to create some value, right? We're saying, hey, we're really good at this, but that customer is going to look at a couple different things. One, did we provide any value? And the second thing they're going to do is go to our website to make sure that we actually serve that type of industry. They want to verify before they respond. They're not going to say, hey, random person on the internet, I'd love to work with you. Keep in mind, we're MSPs. We train people on, drumroll please, phishing. Why would they respond or click on an email? We have to make sure that it is extremely compelling. And also, hey, it's safe. They could look and verify the company. It's really important to do those things. So now as you go through, you understand the pain points, you understand who your target customer is. Now it's getting that in front of them and adding additional value. And this is where a lead magnet comes in. Now your lead magnet can be truly anything. It could be a link to a YouTube video. It could be an ebook. It could be a checklist. Just like I have lead magnets, my buyer persona, surprise, surprise, is a lead magnet, right? The onboarding sheet that's 100+ questions long, that's in the membership. But truly, I want to help you guys as much as I possibly can without giving away everything for free, right? So we have to think of something that we now reached out to them. We know who we're reaching out to. We understand the problems that they're actually having. We've now added value, and they can verify that we're real. Now that we've covered those 5 areas, the likelihood of them reaching back out to us goes up infinitely higher because they feel like the message is directed towards them. If you just said, hey, 25 problems that most small businesses have with technology, everybody's going to brush that away. But if you have a 25 problems that law firms have issues with in New York City that are typically 30 employees or less, and I'm just going on with a very hyper specific, probably not the most catchy title, Boom. Now you have somebody who might see that at a law firm of less than 30 people located in New York City, understanding the problems because it's hyper targeted and hyper fixated on them. Now they feel like, oh, this is made for me. And then you have that leap going forward. But that's the real difference on cold emailing to make it actually work. And I'm going to share with you guys some tools on how to build this entire thing out, because obviously you guys all know that I am a fan of tools out there. And then after that, it's just following up. It's making sure you get them on a booked call or getting them into your CRM, Go High Level, which is the one I love. Link down below. It also comes with MSP Heroes. You get a full version of it. Link also down below. But truly, let's dive into the more important areas here and use some of the tools. Now, you guys already know I love Apollo.io. It's a super, super slick interface. They have a really, really good just user interface, what you can get out of the system. And as you can see here, the people and the company and the information. But truly, it's a nice looking system, and it's fairly inexpensive compared to plenty of other platforms out there, especially when you're trying to get tons and tons and tons of data. For $79 a month or build monthly $100 to be able to do this, you are in for a pretty good software. Now, I will say, if you are cold emailing, you never want to cold email out of your CRM or any platform that's not made for cold emailing. When you're cold emailing, you have to do a couple different things. You need a second domain that is not the same as your current domain. It might be a letter off, something of that nature that can point back to your domain, but you don't want to ruin the validity of your email and risk your main email landing in people's spam boxes. That's not what we want. Then once you actually get that, you want to start warming it up. Now, Apollo's pretty decent at this as far as warming it up and slowly sending out more and more emails. There's another tool I really, really like. It's called Lemlist. Now, Lemlist is purely a emailing platform. They don't sell data. They don't sell anything like that. But you want to warm up that email. And warming up that email, and I apologize, I thought I was sharing my screen here. We have Apollo, right? And then we have Lemlist. You could go through and you could see like this Lemlist will warm it up for you. And they have a product called LemWarm, which will literally warm up your email address. And the reason you want to do that is you want to make sure that it's basically validated that you're sending real emails. And the servers that it sends from are also very different. It's not a marketing server, it's your actual email server. So the way that they're viewed is also very, very different. But let's say you don't want Apollo. I totally get it. There's a couple other options out there that I truly like. Hunter.io is pretty darn good. I've heard really good things, and it's gotten me some pretty great data in the past. For pricing wise, right, at the time of making this video, monthly at $50, and you get 500 monthly searches. Once again, hyper specific. And you could also integrate this with something like LinkedIn or some other platform where it's getting that data as well, which is also another huge win. One of my personal favorites, especially for the price, is LeadScrape. It'll get you a ton of data. Now, the data sometimes could be a little finicky. You might want to double check to make sure that the emails are as clean as possible. But those are probably the three resources between Apollo, the plans and pricing as far as Hunter goes, and the LeadScrape tool here, where the LeadScrape is a good bit cheaper than this Hunter and as well as Apollo. But you also have that data validity as well and who's providing the best data out there. But now that we have the actual data, we know who we're going to go reach out to. Now we actually have to go reach out to them. Now I already gave you one, which is Lemlist, and I personally love Lemlist. I've used Lemlist and Instantly. I think Instantly has the ability to hit more people. I kind of like Instantly, but I like the user interface of Lemlist. At this point, it's a personal preference. And I also love that Lemlist will warm up who you're actually reaching out to. So in this case, Lemlist, you can go through. They have that product LemWarm, and you can reach out to tons and tons and tons of people. And their email builder is literally this simple. You can put in all of the information, and it'll send out that email. I truly, truly love it. It just looks great, and it gives you these kind of knowledge trees or automations in there, which make life very, very easy. You could prompt it to let you know to call or anything of that nature, or to send out emails and take certain actions based on what they do. And then you have Instantly, right? Find contracts and close your ideal clients. And they're doing a ton of stuff. I think it's a really, really cool software. It's definitely more aggressive, but truly, and they are now offering warm up, which I'm pretty excited to see. They weren't originally, but it's a great platform. I know people that are sending 100,000 emails per month, but once again, if you're sending out 100,000 emails of generic marketing to people, it's never going to get an ROI. And as far as price goes, because I love addressing price, you have sending and warm up, right? 30, 77, 286. And then you could actually get, I guess, leads now, which is cool. And then they have their CRM, which I don't particularly recommend using their CRM. I would use a third-party CRM. But overall, sending and warm up for $76 a month is not all that bad. Where Lemlist is slightly similar to that. If you do monthly, it's a little bit cheaper. I would go with Email Pro or the multi-channel expert. But you could do LinkedIn voice notes. I mean, it's super, super powerful. But the concept is really important. You got to know exactly who you're going after, provide value, understand their problems, give additional value on top of just that basic email, prove that you're real. And then when you start sending that, you'll have a ton more success. So I hope you guys found some value in this video. I was dying in this video. I probably stopped like 3 times and had a coughing attack. So I'm going to call it here. I will see you guys early next week. I appreciate the heck out of all of you guys for supporting me, for how far this channel has come. By the way, in MSP Heroes, we're like 110 members, which is insane. And also in the Discord, we're I think at 850 now. You guys are awesome, and you guys are growing like weeds. So love the heck out of you guys, and I will see you guys on the next video. I'm gonna go rest for the week. I apologize I won't have videos this week. Please don't be mad at me, but I'll get back in the saddle starting next week, and we should be good, assuming I don't get sick again. I never get sick, but I feel awful. I will see you guys later. Love you guys. Bye.